Of people are joining the AI space due to the ease of generating videos. One prompt can lead to a viral video on TikTok or Instagram, as we saw with Sora 2 and Veo 3.1. And business owners are generating AI UGC creators to promote their brands, saving them thousands of dollars in advertising costs. The only issue is most people are prompting incorrectly, which leads to frustrations when a video in mind doesn't come out correctly. Not only is this a huge waste of time, but it's quite expensive because generating a single video that can cost anywhere from 50 cents to a few dollars. So it's super important to get the prompt right the first time. Today, I'll be showing you the exact prompting framework that pros are using. There are parts which will be required, and there are optional features that can greatly enhance your videos. As a bonus, I'll also be generating videos for each section that is presented in this video. And if you want this framework, I'm going to post it for free in my school community. This group is filled with over 250 members that are interested in data and AI and want to either freelance, upskill, or automate their business needs. So with this intro out of the way, let's learn how to make effective AI videos. All right, so I'm in this software over here called NAN, and I do a ton of AI automation work in here. I just want to quickly show you a quick framework that we could use to generate these videos. And then what we're going to do is go over all the different sections. So our first part is going to be specifically videos, but since I do have a lot of people that follow the channel for NAN, I just wanted to quickly show this. I will have a full breakdown of how we could set this up, however, in another video. So essentially in NAN, what we want to do is take in a form submission where a user will generate a prompt. And then we're going to use a service to generate these videos. Personally, I use Kai AI because it is cheaper than if you go to the official websites. You make a post request, then you go through a loop over here where you try to make a get request to see if a video is ready. Often these videos will take a few minutes to generate, so it won't be ready right away, which is why we specifically have that. And then once it is done, we can specifically grab our video, we can download it directly in NAN and then upload it into Google Drive. So again, I have a full video that is coming out showing you how to do this with Veo 3.1 as well as Sora 2. So be on the lookout for that. That necessarily isn't this video. We're more focused on the structure of how you want to generate these prompts, and you throw all these prompts within your form submissions. In addition, if you want to bulk generate a lot of different videos, I will have that in this next video as well. I'm going to show you how we can go through a Google Sheet or an Airtable to generate those. But really the focus today is going to be on the parts of the prompt. There's 4 different components off of this, and we're going to start off with the most critical component in my personal opinion, which is the video side of it. Now there is 2 to 3 sections which are going to be required, which I have over here. And then I have optional sections because it's not always required to make a great video. However, I do think it is important for you to throw in there if you really want to take your video production to the next level. So what we have on the required side of things is our subject, as well as possibly the environment that you want to take a look at, and then some sort of action that takes place. On the optional side of things, what we have is a camera angle, we have lighting, colors, as well as the genre and style. So what we'll do is we'll go through this small section over here, kind of give some examples, and then you'll see a prompt that I generated for that section on the screen. All right, so let's start off at the first part, which is going to be the specific subject. Now, the subject could be a human in there. It could be an animal. It could be something that's fiction, like a Bigfoot or Yeti, which I've seen these go viral all over Facebook. One of the things that kind of inspired this video, there's a Facebook meme page that Bigfoot goes through different cities in Florida, and a lot of different businesses will actually advertise in those videos and pay some good money because this page has gone quite viral. These videos are getting thousands of likes, and it's really targeted towards Floridians. So I thought that was kind of cool. I didn't put it over here, but you could also do a specific item. So let's say you want to make an ad for a specific product. Maybe you're selling phone cases, or maybe you're selling some sort of accessory to runners. You can make a whole video just focused around that product. You could also talk about the physical traits. So like imagine you're doing a UGC video. You can say what type of ethnicity someone is, what type of hair color, male, female, what type of clothes are they wearing. So you can think of like the avatar, like how do you want to build the person for your specific video? I can also explain like what's their expression and their mood, their posture. So just think about it like, what's the main focus of your video and what do you want that person to particularly look like? The example I have over here, which again, these are just small components. So this isn't what I would put for a full prompt, but I just said generate a Bigfoot at the start of a 100-mile ultra marathon. So after we go through these prompts, I'll just share it on the screen right now, and then we'll jump into that next section.
All right, everyone, welcome to the Cascade Crest 100. Let's have a good, safe run out there. 3, 2, 1, go. Woo! Let's do this.
Okay, so up next we have environment. So the reason why we have environment as optional, so we could either have a subject matter, environment, or both. So that's why I have this over here, because some people just want to specifically prompt something like, hey, I just want to have like an abandoned forest, or I just want to have a video of a skyline of a city. So you either need to have a focus, which is the subject, you need to have a focus of an environment, or you could have both. And that's why it's always required, because you need to have something going on in the video. So just some examples, this could be a location. Let's imagine you want to have the Chicago skyline. It could be weather, like have it pouring rain in Florida. It could be a specific type of building, like show me some skyscrapers in a city. A time period, you'll see a little bit later, we're going to do some examples of the early 1900s, or you could do something like, I want to have this present in the 1970s or 1980s. You can have people in the background or not. You could have animals in the background or not, or some sort of building in the background if you want. And then you could also define some sort of effect that is going on. Imagine you're in the forest and you say, hey, I want to have fog in the forest, or I want to have a tree falling down in the background. So that's part of your environment section. So for the example on this one, I'm saying build a video showing the start of a 100 ultra marathon in pouring rain in the middle of the night with lightning all around. All right, so up next, what we have is action. So this is what your subject is specifically doing. This is required if you are using a subject, which I believe most people use, unless you're just creating an environment shot. So this could be something like, hey, what's the subject's interaction with the camera? I've seen some videos where you have the UGC creator that literally just shakes the camera or pretends to grab the camera, which is pretty cool. They could be doing some sort of action like, hey, they're going to be eating in this video. They're going to be drinking. They're going to be talking. They might be talking to just the camera or to other people as well. And it can be moving all around and about. So for this example I have over here, I say have an ultra marathon runner drinking an energy gel. So gels are needed when long distance events. And yeah, let's take a look at that one right now. All right, so now we're in the optional section. So we're going to start off with our camera angle. If you don't specify a specific camera angle, the model is going to automatically assume what you want, but there are tons of different camera angles and filming techniques out there. Here are a few of them, whether you want to have like a close-up shot, a wide shot, selfie, low angle, high angle, webcam, third person, first person, dolly, or pan shot. Tons more out there. There's theories on when you should use what shots and what sequence. Listen, I'm not a filmmaker. I just make subpar YouTube videos. But regardless, what I have over here is just a very basic example. I say have a UGC creator telling someone to subscribe to their YouTube channel, selfie style.
So make sure you hit that subscribe button right down there. Go ahead, join the family.
All right, so next, another one that by default, it will automatically assume what you want, but you can also control the lighting in your scene. As I mentioned above, there's a lot of different types of lighting techniques. I'm not an expert on the filmmaking side of things, but you can go over and set like, hey, I want a flickering light. I want overexposure on the camera lens. You can say whether a scene is going to be low light or heavy light. You can have an illumination from a specific source. You can think of like a fire or a moon or a light pole reflect into the lens. So what I have for this one is build a haunted house at night with the moon emulating some exposure to the camera. All right, so now is colors, a little bit of overlap on lighting, because technically with lights, you can set a specific temperature. And that's one of our options over here. You can set specific color themes. So if you think of like an early 2000s horror movie that might be a little bit gritty, like a Saw movie, you can have it futuristic on the other side of the spectrum, kind of like Tron. You can specify it based off of a scene. So if like you're wanting a video in the tropics, you can kind of have warm colors for that. Or if you have a video of someone hiking in mountains, you might want to put a cool color on there. So my idea on this one is make a gritty bathroom scene in the colors of a horror movie like Saw. Another kind of an extension on the colors. This time you can actually set a specific style for the video. And I understand, like, you might think like, okay, Saw film, that could technically be both genre style as well as colors. But you can think of this as like, okay, we're going to do a 2D animation. You could use like 80s sci-fi style, early 2000s YouTube vlog, a 3D character animation. You could have a newsroom. So kind of just think about how you want to set a specific genre for that video or a style. Again, very similar to the colors, but just it's a little bit slightly different. So for this one, what we're going to do is build a 2D animation showing the basics of ultra running.
From specialized gear to crucial aid stations, mastering the basics of fueling and endurance will get you to the finish.
Another thing that I've seen people use as well is adding in additional elements. So what you can have on the screen is a specific timer, like a countdown timer. There's been a lot of websites that use this in the past, like get this deal before it's gone, especially like with like a Cyber Monday type of deal. You can apply that to your videos that you create, specific text, as well as any banners. Now, what I will say is currently with the models, it's better to use captions with a different source afterwards. So like create your video first and then use another service to create captions, because how I've found this so far is caption generation kind of sucks currently. Obviously this is at the end of 2025. How these models have been improving, that should probably be fixed in 2026. But if you're watching this now, I would not recommend captions. If you're watching this 6 months or a year in the future, which I assume I'll have a second version of this video, yeah, probably captions are working at that side. But what I have on this example is have a UGC creator selling running shoes with a timer going down from 5 seconds.
5 seconds left on the Stride Sync 3000s. They're the lightest shoes on the market. Look at the bounce. Click the link now before the timer hits 0.
Okay, so now what we're going to do is go over examples with like multiple elements. So I just wrote one over here. I say make a video of an early 1900s ultra marathon. So first, what I define, if you go back over here, I define specifically, where are we at? Our environment. So 1920s, and we're talking about like an ultra marathon going on. Okay. Then what I say, the race should start in a city, again, environment with smoke pollution, and has 5 runners who are wearing poor clothes. So again, describing the subjects that are in there, 5 runners, poor clothes, also talking about the environment. So again, the things that are required. We should have an establishing shot going from the broken shoes overhead. So what I'm adding in essentially over here is this camera angle. So I'm saying start at the shoes, go all the way to the top. So defining that. Okay, let's keep going through over here. Use gritty colors. So what we have over here is our colors side of thing. Also genre and style, 1920s, that will impact that over there as well. When the shot is in the sky, have the timer say 3, 2, 1. So added an additional element, and I just specified that the timer is a stopwatch. So I essentially went through all of these over here. Didn't really cover lighting too much, but it's a little bit covered with the 1920s. Talked about the camera angle. I talked about the action as well. Talked about the environment. So you can see how we kind of just pieced everything together in a prompt like that. Honestly, there's other things I would tweak with this prompt, but I just felt like it was a very basic one just to kind of recap what we did. But this is just way better than saying like make a video of an early 1900s ultra marathon. I described all the different aspects of this scene that I specifically want, and that's kind of how you want to do it on the video portion. But that's only one half of a video. With all your videos, you're going to want to have audio associated with it. So really there's 4 different optional audio components. If you don't 100% define the audio, the model is going to automatically assume what audio should go with the video. However, I would recommend that you prompt this that way that you have all of the video that you specifically want, all of the audio that you specifically want, and it comes out perfect the first time. Because if the audio doesn't come out correctly, you might be a little bit upset. You might want to just replace the audio and you're gonna have other problems. So I would just recommend that you set up the audio while you build out this initial prompt. And there's really 4 components that I've seen people use. So first is the dialogue, and this is just the exact text that you want your character or whatever else to say on the screen. So in this example, I just have a prompt that says, have a UGC creator saying subscribe to Ryan Matt Data Science while running an ultra marathon. Make sure to have the creator on mile 72 of the race. Make sure they have a running water pack on. So again, just kind of define we're running an ultra marathon, run 72. I misspelled this, which I wonder if the scene is going to mispronounce this as well. That'll be actually kind of funny. But again, I would definitely expand this out if I was pushing this for a real video, but it is what it is. All right, let's take a look at that.
Subscribe to the Ryan and Matt Data Science.
Okay, next is specifying the tone. So what I have over here is make a boss with a negative tone saying your yearly review sucks, you're fired. Again, very simple prompt over here, but again, just showing you guys, you can specify the tone of the words. This over here, I didn't specify the tone. This one I did over here.
Your yearly review sucks. You are fired.
All right, so the word spoken is not the only thing that you could control. You can actually control the background environment. What I would recommend though is you kind of limit how many elements that you have going on the audio side of things. Well, it's great for layering and video editing and things like that in general. If you're going to try to make high quality videos, it can lead to some subpar results if you just feed too much information in at once. So for this example, I have a runner on a trail with the noise of him running and breathing. In the background, you also hear some bees. So just like some running noises, right? The shoe hitting the ground, you hear someone breathing heavy, they're on a trail, and in the background you hear some bees, which I got stung recently trail running. Not fun, but here's the video. All right, and another thing to mention is if you have multiple subjects in a particular video, or you want to have a subject talk to like an NPC or someone in the background, you should define who is particularly talking in a shot. So in this example, I have a conversation between a skunk ape and then a Yeti. The skunk ape says, "What's up?" Then the Yeti says, "Not much." Here you go.
What's up? Not much.
All right, so video dimensions, this is gonna be probably the easiest part. So currently right now, there's 2 different video dimensions that you could generate. You have 16:9, which is a wide shot. You can think of this as like YouTube video you're watching right now. And then you have a 9:16, which is your vertical shot. You can think of like an Instagram reel or a TikTok. All the examples I've shown you guys so far, 16:9s, but I'm gonna put on a 9:16 on the screen for you guys right now. And let's take a look at that one.
Are you looking to sell your Pittsburgh home fast for cash? We buy houses as is, close quickly, and handle all the paperwork. Contact us today.
All right, so now let's talk about the different ways that you can currently generate a video. Again, I assume that this is going to change here in the future, but as of right now, the most common way that people do this is text to video. They'll have a prompt like everything I've shown you guys so far. And from that prompt, we're going to generate all the different elements associated with it. However, there are a few other options. The first one is starting and ending images in a video. So you could either choose the starting image, like, hey, who do we want to start with, or this particular frame that you want to end a video on. Where this is really helpful is, let's say, for example, you have a UGC creator that you've already developed, or you have the permission of someone to use in those particular videos. So you can set that UGC creator as in the start. You could also set a particular background for that UGC creator and then build a whole entire video for that. Or if you have a product shot that you say, hey, this looks amazing, I want to end the video on this, but I want to generate everything before. This is where starting or ending image video will be helpful. So let's take a look at that right now, and we'll be back with our final example.
Look at this beauty. Let's cook. This is the hottest card at the show right now.
All right, and then for our last example, we're going to take a look at starting and ending image. So let's say you have an image you want to start the video with, an image that you want to end the video with, and then you essentially prompt what happens in between the first frame as well as the last frame. If you don't, it's going to automatically assume what you particularly want for it. So let's take a look at that example. So essentially that is prompting in a nutshell. So the first thing that you need to do with any particular prompt is you need to go over here and follow this framework. So start with the video. Are you going to use a subject and or the environment? Figure out that part of the prompt and then figure out what type of action is going on, because you need to have your subject doing something. Then your optional side, if you want to get really creative, think about different types of camera angles, the lighting associated with the color, if you want it in a particular genre. Not always needed, because essentially based off of your initial prompt on the required section, this will be auto-generated. However, if you want to have really, really great visuals, I would recommend that you fill out these sections. And again, you don't need every single section, but what you think would make sense in a sequence if you're including multiple videos together or for that one particular shot for a video. Then we jump into the audio side of things. There's 4 components of that, whether you want to have characters or subjects say specific words, what's the tonality of those words, who is talking in that particular frame, and then also is there some sort of background noises, which again, higher quality productions, there's always going to be some sort of background noise associated with it. You can have these in 16:9 or 9:16, depending on what social media source you want to post on, or if you're going to be part of a larger video. And lastly, you can either generate these videos from text, you can have a start frame, an end frame, or a mixture of both starting and ending. Hope you guys found this video valuable. If you did, make sure to subscribe to the channel. We're making a ton of other AI videos over here, a lot to deal with Python and NAN. If you want to learn a little bit more about NAN, which is the software I have on the screen right now, I have over 60 plus videos on NAN. We're going to put that playlist right over there. And also I'd love to have you join our Skool community. All right, talk to you guys in another video.